Hello, everyone. I have the pleasure of reintroducing Michelle Wimberly, aka Michi, to you all today. She's going to be joining us at the Goddess Gathering Elemental Harmony again this year, bringing her soothing self-love practices, leading us through deeply healing breath work, and guiding us in an invigorating ice bath. Woo! I'm so excited to have you with us again, and thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, so grateful to be here. So grateful to be here. I just love working with you, being with you, the ultimate creator.
Aw. Thank
Yeah.
you. So most people who follow me probably have seen you through the retreats and stuff, but just in case there's people new finding this video, I'd love for you to just tell us like a little bit about um, your healing practice. You've got Blue Lotus Integrative Therapeutics, and I know even since last year you have a couple new certifications under your belt, and I'd just love to hear a little bit about it and what you're currently lit up about.
Yeah. So I'm a person in long-term recovery from addiction, substance addiction, pharmaceuticals, and I love working with finding, helping everyone, but especially myself, helping myself find like this motivation, this passion for being who I am, just like showing up authentic, showing up just as I am in each and every facet of my life, whatever hat I have on. It's like, okay, how do I shine bright in this moment? And Blue Lotus was created from that, like allowing myself to learn different holistic modalities and tools, ice baths, sauna, infrared sauna, and definitely like yoga, Pilates, weightlifting, all these kinds of tools help us, I believe, from my experience, be empowered in order to find like that system of homeostasis, being grounded and in the moment and kind of getting ourselves out of fight or flight or burnout. It's like, how do I bring my system, my whole being into the center so that I can rock and roll, so that I can shine bright and, you know, whatever naysayers are around, not absorb that. Just let them have that mirror moment of reflecting their uncomfortability at me, but not reacting to it. And so, Blue Lotus, I love bringing forth all kinds of holistic modalities. Like I work at an addiction facility in Ingleton, Texas, and I'm the whole holistic wellness director there. And I have a very dynamic role. I work with art therapy, I work with mindful movement, and with that big umbrella is like personal training, group fitness, yoga, Pilates, nature walks. I also bring forth Ayurveda education, which is the study of life. I like to call it the study of balance. How do I bring my system into balance? Usually we're not in balance when we get to recovery. So it's like, what do I need to ground or activate? And I love being able to work individually with people. Like I feel individual work is very organic and flowy with me. I know I'm being called to work in like bigger group settings, and I think that's where this being called to retreats and all that beauty is helping me build that muscle. It's like I love being one on one with people. So the dynamic flow of working in a group in the retreats is new and so beautiful. Um, what there was another question you asked. Oh, I suppose it was the certifications. So I've been working for the last six years on becoming a yoga therapist, and I finally got that. I'm so excited. I know it's like that's a big hat to wear. Yoga therapy it's a very in depth. Like you learn about the philosophy of yoga, which can take lifetimes to learn because there's yoga is so rich and it's such an ancient tool. Like there's Ayurveda that's been around for 5,000 plus years. Then they teach us about herbology. And so anyways, that was a really cool thing to be able to not necessarily like check off the list, but dive really deep into. And I'm continuing to learn in that arena as well. I feel like yoga is something that isn't necessarily something that we like learn for a season of our life. It's a calling and you enter into it for like this lifetime. I really enjoy yogic philosophy, and a lot of what I bring forth is yoga based, is um very holistic in how do I center myself. What else did I do? Oh, so it's really funny because I'm like, okay, is this a calling where I'm answering a call in my balanced state, or is this my old self answering this calling? I just decided about a year and a half ago to enter into physique and bodybuilding competition coaching.
Oh,
And this is through, yeah, I freaking love it. This is through NASM, the National Association of Sports Medicine, an incredible school. So I've learned so much with that. I haven't gotten certified yet, but I'm like in the midst of learning all about this, literally this world. And it's totally different than the yoga world. It's like here's your rev up, your go hard, your just I mean, it's intense. And then here's yoga, which is like how do we soothe, ground, and find center. So I think I'm being called to the bodybuilding arena more so because I want to see how I can incorporate the yogic philosophy, the like being, there's natural bodybuilding, but being more in alignment nervous system while we train to be our best self. And there's other amazing people out there doing this. So it's quite an interesting journey. I
hmm.
think that's about it right now. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. It's so exciting. I always love hearing what you're up to because there's always something new, but but at the same time, like you've got such a depth going. It's new, but it's in the same, I don't know,
Yeah.
everything you're doing works together, and that's what I love. Um,
See, that's cool.
yeah.
I do feel the same way. It's kind of like I'm walking down this forest path, and then it's one path, but then the path branches out. Then
Mhm.
it'll veer back, to like incorporate the bodybuilding, it'll veer back in to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ultimate path.
Or it's like it's a forest and there are different trees in the same forest and they're all helping each other and I love
Totally.
it.
Yeah.
So speaking of trees and retreat and all of that, I'd like to talk about elemental harmony and about what you'll be bringing for all the people who will be joining us. And so I know Friday night we'll start with our opening circle, and but after dinner you're going to be leading us, and I think we're
Oh my
just
God.
calling it relax into the magic. Where I think we said we'll have you're going to bring the oils, so we get to make our own personal oils, and we'll do. And I'll let you talk about it, but I'm just recalling we talked about a little bit of breath work and maybe some heart
Yeah.
massage and connection, and then we'll get to play with the bowls and the gong and just really
Yeah.
have some fun with that.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So the vision I have for our Friday entrance and practice is, yeah, like it's called Abhyanga in yoga. And so it's a self massage practice. We're gonna start from the foundation and actually create the oil. I'll bring just empty glass bottles, the dropper ones, and some really high grade, beautiful MCT. Probably, yeah, I'm thinking, do I want to do MCT? We want to do MCT coconut oil because it's summertime, or it'll be at the end of summer. This is November.
I
So
mean,
we want
it's
to,
so hot.
yeah, and we're in Texas. So yeah, let's be real. So we want to cool the body, and coconut oil is the best way to cool the body. So think about that right now in the midst of what is this, June? It's getting hot. So grab yourself some coconut oil right now, put it all over your body, help your body cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll do that. I'll bring some essential oils and we can figure out we're the medicine women. So we get to decide what oils we want to create for whatever it is that's weighing heavy on us most. Am I looking to soothe anxiety or extra energy? Am I looking for something to help me be invigorated, to bring up the energy? Like we want the women, I want the women to feel empowered to create their magic.
Mhm.
And then from there we'll go into um I like to call it something of loving touch. This is teaching ourselves and others what it feels like to have safe touch, what it feels like to allow people into our bubble. And it could be really uncomfortable for people. I know it was super uncomfortable for me when I first did this practice. And I think that's where the growth happens though. And
Yeah.
so as we're doing that, as we're having this loving touch with a sister, we'll partner up and a sister will put some oils on their hand and start to rub the hands and they'll ask permission, is it okay to like rub your wrist? And they can chat, but really softly the whole time. So we want to keep them in that practice. Um, as it's maybe uncomfortable for some because you're allowing somebody into your space to touch your body. That's where the breath practice will come in and I'll help guide like a soothing breath practice to bring the nervous system back to center and just maybe even some mantras of I am safe, I am choosing to trust. And yeah, I can just envision it right now, seeing at Golden Hill that experience will be very healing and just I think that's going to be a great door opener for the retreat. It's like we're going to just connect on a really intimate, beautiful level.
Mm, I love that. Yay.
Mhm.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I know, me too. It's like, when is this exactly?
Right. Only like a handful of months.
Yeah, it's wild to think.
Yeah. Well, perfect. I'm so excited for Friday. And then Saturday, we'll be doing our forest immersion. And so after forest bathing, you're going to bring us into a breathwork and meditation practice. Could you just share a little bit about what you envision for that as well?
Yeah, that's going to be super cool.
Yeah.
I envision all the fairies in the forest coming forth, and as we find our little pallets to lay down on the grass, they're just going to circle around us. And we'll have that extra magic, and the trees are going to like open up to start talking and giving us magic, and we're going to be immersed in the flow of nature. And I think that's so healing in itself
Mhm,
because we are nature,
mhm.
and sometimes our world tells us that we're not and we rev a little too fast and it causes us to get depleted. So I think just being in the forest, laying down and taking that time to take in nature is going to be so healing in itself. I'm
Yeah.
going to bring forth a breath practice. It's going to be, I would like to call it like a mold of a few different breath practices, but the ultimate goal for me, if there is a goal in breath practice, is to help you get out of a normal thinking brain state into a more out of the box expansion, accepting brain state. And so we could call that like a psychedelic breath work. We could call that holotropic breath work. Some may even call it like the Wim Hof breath work could get you there. And so it's going to be a mold of probably the three or the two holotropic, Wim Hof, Tumo breathing. It's going to be a practice. So we're going to be working our diaphragm. So you could call it like this is like a fitness workout. We're going to keep it going. We're going to also find our own individual flow. So I'll guide us starting off really slow, and then there'll be an option to go deeper, faster, fuller, to get those tingles, to get that lightheadedness, to feel high, to get outside of the normal thinking. Because Wim Hof says you can get high on your own supply. And this isn't anything new. He's just a genius and found a perfect way to market it. But this is like something that pranayama, yoga breathwork, has been doing for ages. I teach all kinds of breath work that help us get there. Um, I definitely want to, before we go into the actual practice, I would like to have a circle of us hanging out, and not only just here's an expectation, here's what to expect, but more of like, what do you want from this? What are your intentions? And allowing ourselves to open up our voice, to come together, to weave our own energy with each other, to feel supported and safe. Because sometimes things do come up when we do breath work like this. We can have trauma releases. We can have old memories come up that we had no idea existed. And it's so important to feel safe when these things happen so that you can allow yourself to feel, to heal. So that would be like the intro in. Then we would get comfy cozy in the forest, which is going to be so cool to think about. Like, we have to find a way to take pictures of this, of all of us just laying down in the midst of the forest and the trees. We'll do several rounds of breath work, and then a gentle meditation at the end to help us integrate back into Earth, planet Earth, from the Astros. And from the Astros made me think of like the baseball team, from the Astrals. But yeah, and then we'll come out of it and circle up and process. We'll each have a space to talk about what it was for them that came up. How was their experience? What'd you collect? What came through? How do you feel? Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember last time I fell asleep during the meditation part.
Oh yeah, the Nidra.
So relaxed.
Yeah.
Um, and it's gonna be so different in the trees. I'm so excited for it. I've never done breath work in the forest. So
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, this is a thing.
Yeah.
Let's make it
Oh,
a thing.
definitely. Like, I just imagine thinking about our ancestors and how this was something that they just did all the time. And we're rooting back to that. So it's, for me, very ancestral healing, integrating back into our roots. I think that's so cool.
Yes. I love
Mm-hmm.
that. I love that. Okay, and so then we'll have vocal activation. We're actually doing nature art while we're still in the forest as well. And then we'll have our full moon fire circle that night. And then Sunday, you're going to be helping us. We're doing, I think I'm calling it elemental power building. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll have the ice bath and we'll have a fire and we'll be doing earthing.
Oh
And
my gosh, that's so cool.
I know, I love it. I can't wait.
Oh my God.
But so I've never done an ice bath. I do like cold rinse kind of things.
Oh,
But
good. You'll be ready.
I know, right? But I'm just for the people who might be a little nervous or unsure who've never done an ice bath, can you tell us just about the practice? What are the benefits, challenges? What can somebody expect for their first time?
Oh, sure. I think what you just organically started off with is like you haven't done one, but you started with like cold showers. I
Mhm.
think that's really important for us to like, maybe if this is something that you want to do, because this will be optional. We're not going to force anybody to do anything they're not comfortable with. But if this is something that you want to do, the ice bath experience, start now with your cold showers. And what you can start with is you can take your normal hot, yummy shower, enjoy all of it. But at the end, turn it to cold, which you're lucky because it's summertime, so you'll probably love it. Turn it to cold all the way and enjoy. You may not enjoy it first off, but enjoy the cold streaming down your body. Breathe into whatever intensity comes up. Breathe into the shock or the body trying to hold and brace, or like, it's so uncomfortable. I got to muscle through this. See if you can start there and breathe into that and like relax into it. Just start with 30 seconds. and then start with a minute 2 weeks later. You can just build up to it until you get to 2 minutes. So I actually wrote down, because ice baths are so powerful, I wrote down some good stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. So there's many benefits to ice baths, cold plunge, cold immersion, all of that is beautiful. It's a great practice. It can really strengthen your cardiovascular system. So we have something called metabolic conditioning that can come forth from doing this practice. And this is where your body becomes more efficient at using your calories to, like, if you have excess calories stored in the body, it begins to learn how to use that for your expenditure to be able to soothe the body. So, like, creates a heat barrier in the body when you're in the ice. We call that metabolic conditioning. Then we have, oh yeah, this is my favorite one. It eases pain, soothes sore muscles. So I'm a person who also has reconstructive spinal surgery. I have Harrington rods from not my cervical spine, but the top of thoracic all the way down through the lumbar spine. So you can just imagine my whole spine is a metal rod with screws in it. And pain is something that I have had to learn how to, I wouldn't say live with. What is the word I'm trying to come up with? Integrate. How do I handle this kind of pain? And how can I listen to my body to start to learn how it needs to be soothed, different ways to soothe it? And this has been such a game changer practice for my back, for my hips, for my shoulders, for my neck. This is something that really helps the inflammation process in the body. It soothes that inflammatory process. It brings it down. It helps to ease the pain, any kind of inflammation or any kind of like swelling that you have in the joints or in the muscles. So yeah, game changer for pain. I hope that people get to experience this like euphoric relief if there is pain in their body. Helps you recover faster. So you can think about if you've been working out a lot, or we'll be working out in the forest, not working out like you would think, but we'll be going for a nice hike. And this is a perfect backdoor practice to help relax any tension that may come from the feet from walking, the legs, the knees, the hips. This will be something that helps soothe the body. This also is great for your nervous system. It's a good way to upregulate the nervous system. So you have practices that are soothing and downregulating, a yoga nidra, grounding meditations, holding your babies, rocking them, all that's like downregulating for the nervous system. This is its sister, where it comes and it upregulates you. It brings you up. It gives you dopamine. It gives you endorphins. I was trying to think, what's the other one? Gives you endorphins and helps you feel very free. We call it like a bliss state. Yeah, you can also get high on your own supply doing an ice breath, because your breath practice will shift. When we get into the ice, there may be a tendency to either hold the breath, or there may be a tendency to overbreathe, where it's like a hyperventilation. And so you'll notice in that moment, there could be a kickoff of a fight or flight, a fear. And so my job as a sister, as someone who loves you and supports you and just knows that you can do this, is I'll be sitting right next to you, right alongside the tub, and I'll be helping you, whether it be me placing my hands on your shoulders or on your head to help you bring it into the body, like bring you back instead of just thinking about the fear. And I'll help you find a breath, your breath, help you find that flow of relaxation breath so that you don't have to muscle the whole practice in. And that's where I think the real magic happens. When we can learn how to be okay in uncomfortable situations, we grow exponentially. And that translates in so many different areas of your life. So doing practices that help you be okay and uncomfortable, safe, uncomfortable, right? We don't want to just like throw ourselves into uncomfortable situations that aren't safe, but doing practices that are uncomfortable and learning how to regulate ourselves can help us grow as a being into our highest versions. And this is ice bath practice is like top tier. How do I want to grow? Do I want to be like the best version of myself? This is such an empowering practice. Once we get out of the ice, oh, I guess I'll go back a little bit. So in the ice bath, we're going to have flowers, correct?
Hmm.
Like we're going to have flowers. So we'll bring in that feminine nature into the ice practice with us. And we'll bring in that gentleness of what we have as females. We have such a beautiful way to soothe each other, to be with each other, to hold space for each other's. And I would like for those flowers to symbolize that. Once we get out of the bath, then we'll warm up a little bit, warm the body up, let it do its thermogenesis, and then whoever just got out of the bath, then they're just gonna either choose to go off, I guess, for the earthing. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
Leaving.
I think it makes sense
Yeah,
to do it that way so that we're not getting the bath muddy.
yeah. So I was just thinking, I wonder if we want to have after the ice bath, like some sisters hang out who have just done it so that they can cheerlead their sisters about to get in it, kind
Yes,
of bringing that community fellowship, tribal feeling. Yeah, and then we can all dig in the ground and hang out together in the
yeah.
earth.
Like I'm hoping it's all just gonna be like we're all just kind of in the same area.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Um, so like I could probably spend the entire time we have allotted for this call just talking about the power of ice baths, but we'll leave it at that. And if anybody's curious as to like what an ice bath does, anything else you may have, you're gonna post this. Feel free to connect with me. I'll be tagged in it. So just reach out. We can hang.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I have one more question for you,
Okay.
and it is just what are you most excited about the retreat?
Ah,
I know, hard question.
yeah. Hard, but such a cool hard question, right? Like I'm excited the people to just meet who universe brings forward for us all to practice together to be with each other. I think we're mirrors for each other. So it'll be so powerful to see who shows up. And I'm sure we're gonna see some familiar sisters and that'll be so fun to just like embrace each other in hugs. It's been a year. So seeing how your life has unfolded for you since the retreat and then the new sisters who are going to be called forth. Yeah, I think just meeting the people that are coming forward. If I had to choose like an activity that we're going to do, I would probably say being in the forest all day. Like Saturday sounds like my utopia
Yeah,
for
agreed,
real.
agreed, same.
I
No,
mean,
oh,
I
I
don't
love,
get to do that.
right? That's why we're making it happen. We
Yeah, it'll be so cool. So cool.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that. I'm super excited about all of it. It's just going to be such a
Mhm.
good time, and I agree the women and the connections and just being with each other the whole time is also like one of my favorite things as well.
Yeah, the magic.
It is the magic. Yes, we are the magic.
We are the magic. That's a song, is it not? I feel like that's a song.
Probably. Probably. Well, if anybody watching is curious about Michi's offerings and even ice baths, she does ice baths here and there if you want to check one out before the retreat. I'm going to post her website in the video description, as well as the retreat link where you can read all about it and see pictures of the retreat center and also the registration form if you feel the call. We currently have 4 spaces still and a couple private rooms available, just FYI. And yeah, I'm just, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either one of us. And thank you again, Michi, for your gifts and sharing with us. And yeah, just love you so much, sister.
Oh, I love you too. Yeah, thank you for doing this for real. This is so beautiful. Calling us all together because we all need it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we'll say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys.